Our Group 4 will present about macroeconomic problem in Turkey, effect of COVID-19 and how to overcome.
So let me talk about the introductions. In November 2019, the COVID-19 infection was found in Wuhan, China. The WHO declared a pandemic on March 11 at 2020. In the last half year, the pandemic has become a global issue as economic danger. This hazard affects both supply and demand. It disorganizes supply-side trade and industrial value linkage. On demand, reduce the consumptions and fix investment spending.
Next, we go to the background of Turkey. The Republic of Turkey is found on the Anatolian landmass in Western Asia and a little enclave interest within the Balkan region of Southeast Europe. Turkey covers a range of 783,562 km square, and the country is more than twice the measure of Germany or marginally littler than the US states of Texas and Louisiana combined. Next, as of December 31, 2021, the populace of Turkey was 84.7 million with a development rate of 0.55% per annum. The national income of Turkey, the gross national income, was 2.343 trillion PPP dollars 2020. In 2021, the national debt of Turkey summed to around 171.55 billion US dollars. The main economic sector in Turkey are based on agricultural production. They also have another business which is textile, food processing, electronics, and more.
Thank you, Sarah. Next, I will present about data and charts regarding macroeconomic problems in Turkey during pandemic COVID-19. The first one is about unemployment issue. So based on figure 55 here, the unemployment rates remain stable throughout the real sector crisis, but this conceals challenges of falling employment and labor market participation. So, labor market outcomes started to improve slightly at the end of 2019. This was disrupted by COVID-19. In April, employment declined by 2 million jobs lost compared to February 2020, and at the same time, the labor force shrank by 1.9 million due to declining labor market participation. The issue letter causing the poverty rose significantly in 2020 based on figure 10. In conjunction with the job losses affecting the poorer more, the proportion of people in poverty is estimated to have risen from 10.2% in 2019 to 12.2% in 2020, following a significant uptick in 2019 and present a growing challenge. Were it not for the fiscal measures to support workers and households, the increase in poverty would have been far worse. To overcome this, one of Turkey's initiatives is to reopening after the first wave, and it actually played a role in economic recovery. Turkey had swiftly introduced COVID-19 related restrictions that, although effective in limiting COVID transmission, were somewhat less disruptive than a full-scale lockdown. As we can see from figure 3 here, following the first wave, mobility and business operation restrictions were relaxed in June and July. Based on the experience of reopening around the world and using high-frequency electricity consumption data as a proxy for economic activity, reopening is estimated to have accounted for between 1/3 and 1/2 of the rebound in economic activity, indicating that other factors, namely stimulus, has played a pivotal role. After that, Turkey's economic growth performance in 2020 was strong compared to other countries, but poverty spread and unemployment became more prevalent. From figure 4, Turkey's GDP grew by 1.8% in 2020, which was the fastest among G20 countries in 2020, aside from China. This was on the back of one of the strongest economic rebounds in the second half of 2020, largely achieved in the third quarter, but with positive growth continuing into the fourth quarter. Despite measures to support jobs and households, labor market and poverty outcomes nevertheless deteriorated. Indicators of domestic demand showed some signs of economic growth cooling early in 2021, although supply-side measures such as industrial output remain robust.
So let's talk about inflation accelerated. In addition to recovery, there are also economic risks. The policy framework and the policy aim at ensuring a strong recovery in 2020. Also exacerbate imbalance and risks, notably domestic inflation, currency depreciation, and foreign exchange reverse losses. Inflation has gradually accelerated, reaching 18-month high of 16.2% in March 2021. So exchange depreciated sharply. Turkey's rising current account deficit in the second quarter of 2020 was largely funded by the central bank from international reserve amid capital outflows, falling exports, and rising imports, with reserve minus short-term liabilities reaching unprecedented lows and central banks further limiting reserve losses. The lira began to depreciate, dropping nearly 30% by the end of the year, further adding to inflationary pressures.
Next, let me talk about how they overcome the problems. First, the Ministry of Finance Treasury announced its strategy to assist domestic and local business. This provision subside loan was seen by the government as a means of taming demand, which is it felt could be done via the implementation of this scheme. The total of discretionary fiscal support to the package is estimated to be around 649 billion as of in January 2021. Second, the activity taken regarding to monetary policy. The Central Bank of Republic has taken a significant accommodative moves. These actions were taken both of the one-way repo rates and the effective reserve requirement rate have been reduced by a total 500 basis points. Third, the Central Bank of Republic Turkey have been taking moves on March 31, began a program on March 31 that will include outright purchase of sovereign bonds. Additionally, it has dramatically raised the number of liquidity facilities and is provided to the bank. Fourth, beginning in May 2020, the Banking Regulation and Supervision Agency began adopting the active ratio policy as a new policy instrument to push the bank to issue additional loan. 5. Lastly, in the term of fiscal policy, the government plans for a stimulus package, which was announced on March 17, is in line with other countries do in general, such as tax payment, social security payment, and credit payment that was made by the companies in the service sector are put off.
The conclusions we can explain briefly in COVID-19 in Turkey are: firstly, the background of the country. The nation of Turkey is located between Europe and Asia. The Republic of Turkey is found on the Anatolian landmass in Western Asia and a little active in Thrace within the Balkan region of Southeast Europe. Secondly, data. Supported by data from Turkey Macroeconomic Monitor August 2020, adjusting the sales. Unemployment rates remained stable throughout the real sector crisis, but this conceals challenge of falling employment and labor market participation. Poverty rose significantly in 2020, supported by data from Turkey Economic Monitor April 2021, navigating the wave. Pre-opening after the first wave also played a role in economic recovery. Turkey economic growth performance in 2020 was strong compared to other countries, but poverty spread and unemployment became more prevalent. Economic risk emerged alongside recovery. Lastly, overcome the problems. The Ministry of Finance and Treasury announced its strategy to assist domestic and local businesses. The activities have taken place regarding monetary policy. The Central Bank of the Republic of Tanzania began a program on March 31. Beginning in May of 2020, the Banking Regulation and Supervision Agency began adopting the active ratio policy. In terms of fiscal policy, the government's plan for a stimulus package, which was announced on March 17, is in line with what other countries do in general. The Credit Guarantee Fund limits have been raised. I think that's all for me. Thank you.